I woke up in an unfamiliar room. I looked like I'd been living in a sewer for a week, covered in dirt and wrinkled clothes with tangled hair. The creepiest thing was that I didn't know who I was, where I was, or why I was there. It was like someone had wiped my memory clean with a rag. I couldn't even remember my name. I left the room and immediately saw a bunch of boys. They were sitting there on sofas, chatting, playing video games. I didn't recognize any of them and felt panic rising in me like a tide. Of course, I did the smartest thing I could. I turned around and ran out of there. Wait! We wanted to help, but I didn't feel like talking. Hi, my name is Claire. One day, I woke up in a house full of boys I didn't know, and the worst part was that I couldn't remember anything. Do you know what happened next? Make yourself comfy. I'm about to tell you. I ran outside. It was dark and cold, and the wet asphalt was shining under the streetlights. I walked through the city and didn't recognize a single street or person. My head was as empty as a school locker before the holidays. About 10 minutes later, I saw a police car. Some basic instinct kicked in. The police are good. The police are supposed to help. I told the cop everything I knew, which was basically nothing, and asked him for help. He brought me to a police station, and they ran my photo and fingerprints through the database. We found and contacted your parents. The policeman spoke to me very calmly, gently and kindly, like I was a lost kitten. Half an hour later, a woman and a man burst into the police station. I didn't recognize them, but they called themselves my parents. The man immediately ran up to me. Claire, we were so scared. They told the officer that I had hereditary amnesia. I looked at them with suspicion. They didn't look like scammers, but they didn't seem familiar to me either. The couple soon led me to their car. We didn't tell the cops the truth. Actually, you got into an accident. And then they told me that I had been driving my car when I lost control and swerved off the road. When the first responders arrived, my car was crushed like a Coke can. I wasn't in it. Then, the police called my parents and said that I had come to the station. At that moment, I thought, well, sounds logical. If I really hit my head, it wasn't surprising that I lost my memory. Those boys must have found me and carried me to their place. The couple brought me to a house that seemed nice but completely unfamiliar to me. I couldn't help but wonder, what if they weren't my parents? But then, the woman handed me a photo album. I was in those pictures, smiling next to my parents and looking happy. There was also a photo of me standing next to an old green Chevy Caprice. This is the car you were driving. It all looked too real to be fake. I looked in the mirror. The girl from the pictures looked back at me. I finally relaxed. It really was me. I went to bed, but before I fell asleep, I heard my parents talking quietly in the hallway. Did you overdo it? She doesn't remember anything. It's okay. She'll remember what's important. But I was so exhausted that I just fell asleep. Subscribe to the channel and like this video to find out something interesting about yourself. The next day, my parents drove me to a school I didn't remember. They said my old phone had probably been damaged in the accident and gave me a new one. Dad warned my teachers that I had amnesia, and they were very understanding. They didn't ask me any questions or give me difficult tasks. At least I remembered how to read and write. It would have been a disaster otherwise. But at recess, a girl called Sarah came up to me. I was pretty sure she was my classmate. I know you're faking it. You don't have amnesia. You just don't want to study. I see right through you. If looks could cause amnesia, she would have forgotten everything when I glared at her. I mean, come on. I didn't remember anything and was barely holding it together. Why was she picking on me? After school, I decided to find the boys who had saved me the night before. I wanted to thank them and apologize for running away. First, I called the police station. I'm the girl with amnesia you brought to the station yesterday. Could you tell me where we met? I am trying to recover my memory. The policeman was very helpful. He told me the address without asking any questions. I headed there, trying to remember anything along the way. I found that house. It turned out to be a fraternity house on a college campus. When I walked in, the boys were shocked. I wanted to thank you for saving me. It was all John. He found you. John turned out to be nice and a little shy, and I got a crush on him right away. I told him that I got into an accident, hit my head, and didn't remember anything. That's weird. I found you under a tree in the park. There were no cars nearby. I must have crawled out of the car, walked to the park, and passed out there. Doesn't sound that far-fetched. We talked and laughed, recalling how I got scared and ran away the night before. John and I exchanged numbers. Then I got a call from my dad. He sounded like I'd run away to the Mexican border. Where are you? You should have been home by now. I told him the truth, that I was thanking the boys who had saved me, but he was still unhappy, and 15 minutes later, he arrived on campus. Dad scolded me. Something about his overprotective attitude struck me as odd. At home, to get my mind off things, I took my phone and started texting John. He said he was going to be a doctor and was interested in my case. I found it a bit offensive, like John only saw me as a patient, but it was still nice that someone wanted to talk to me. We talked for about 20 minutes. Then I came out of my room and saw my dad go down to the basement. Naturally, that intrigued my inner spy. I quietly followed him, trying to act like a ninja. My jaw dropped. It wasn't an ordinary basement. There was a science lab in it, with bright lights, strange equipment, containers, glass test tubes, and wires. Dad was doing something, leaning over the table. He turned around and saw me. "Claire, you can't be in here. Get out!" I flinched, back towards the stairs, and immediately ran away. I went to Mom, who was chopping apples like nothing strange was going on. "Mom, what does Dad do?" "He's a neuroscientist." "You know that." "Sure, of course I knew it, except I didn't remember anything." At that moment, I realized that Dad was acting too weird. His attempts to control me, the suspicious conversations at night, and now the laboratory in the basement? It was all like something out of a movie. The next day I came to school and tried to act like I was doing fine, and my brain was just recalibrating or something. But then Sarah appeared again, like she was waiting for me. "I know everything. You didn't see a doctor. You don't have amnesia. You're faking it." Come to think of it, she was right. Why hadn't my parents taken me to a doctor? Amnesia had to be treated, right? I should have at the very least been diagnosed by a professional. I felt like a sleepwalker the whole day, stewing in my own suspicions like pasta in boiling water. Even when I was walking home, I was so lost in thought that I bumped into someone. "Oh, I'm sorry." "Hi, Claire. What a coincidence." He smiled and everything inside me lit up like Christmas lights. "Are you busy right now?" "No, I was on my way home." "Why? Do you want to go for a walk?" Dad's going to worry. But John was coaxing me so persistently, looking at me so warmly, and I felt like I really needed to talk to someone. So I agreed. We were walking near a mall, and I told him everything about the lab in the basement, about Sarah, about not seeing a doctor. "Well, your dad is a neuroscientist. Maybe he diagnosed you himself?" The theory was plausible, but still did not give me all the answers. And then I suddenly froze because a green car drove past us. A green Chevy Caprice. The one I was standing next to in that one picture. The one in which I had allegedly got into an accident. "John, look, that's my car." "That one? But didn't you crash it?" "Exactly. Maybe it just looks the same?" "No, it's a rare model, and the color is the same too." No way there are two cars like that in our town. I was about to run after it, but got distracted when my phone rang. "Where are you? Out again?" I told him honestly that I met a friend, and we were on a walk near the mall. "Don't go anywhere. I'm on my way." He arrived 10 minutes later. I introduced him to John, but Dad looked at John like he had taken his car, house, dog, and even taken his life into a parallel universe. "Come on, it's time to go." He took me home and grumbled the whole way that I never listened to him. "You should go home right after school. I don't want you hanging out with that guy." That evening, I overheard my parents talking again. "You're being too hard on Claire. Maybe we should give her a little more freedom." "That's enough. We did that before, and how did it end?" My heart sank. It was quite obvious that they were hiding something, and I was definitely going to find out what. The next day at school, I approached Sarah first. "Listen, I don't know if we were friends or enemies before, but I really don't remember anything, and I need your help. You know how to search for clues." Sarah seemed confused. I told her everything about the car, the basement, the doctor. Her eyes lit up. "Okay, that's interesting. I will help." I got a text from John. He suggested we meet after school. And you know what? I liked him, so I agreed. We went for a walk, and John said something surprising. "The truth is, I like you. I've liked you from the moment I found you. I was just sitting next to you looking at you, and I realized that I was in love. Yesterday, it was not a chance meeting. I was waiting for you." My heart started pounding. Do you believe in love at first sight? I don't remember what I believe in. Everything was so beautiful and peaceful that I could feel it. I was in love. I even ignored calls from my dad, even though there were a lot of them. But then Dad found me again. He looked like he was going to smash up the whole neighborhood. He started yelling at me for not listening to him. For the first time, I exploded like a pressure cooker. "John is my boyfriend, and I'm going to date him." "We'll see about that." He dragged me to the car and we drove away. When I came to school the next day, 100 thoughts were running through my head and my heart was racing. At recess, Sarah ran up to me. "That green car you saw, it really was your Chevy Caprice. But the thing is, your parents sold it a few days ago." It felt like the ground had gone out from under my feet and then come back wrong. Sold it? I realized that my parents were lying to me after all. Furious, I hurried home. When I burst into the house, Dad wasn't there. Mom was chopping vegetables in the kitchen. "I know everything. There was no accident. You sold my car." Mom froze. I was against it right away, but your dad never listened to me. Mom told me everything. Turned out that the car had been a gift to me for my 16th birthday. But after a couple of months, I fell in with a bunch of street racers who were hanging out in a wasteland. Dad, who always considered Mom and me his property, went berserk. He forbade me from seeing them, yelled at me, and tried to control me, but I still met up with those boys. He sold your car while you were at school. According to Mom, I blew up and was about to run away from home. I'd said I'd find a way to race anyway and buy a different car. That's when Dad, he injected you with the serum he had been developing for the last few months. That thing started to erase your memory. You broke free, ran away, and passed out in the park. We were looking for you, but that guy found you first. I stood there shaking. My father had erased my memory just because he couldn't control my every move. I felt my rage rising. I ran to the basement to smash to pieces everything that Dad had poisoned me with, but it was empty. Your father moved everything somewhere else this morning. I stormed out of the house and ran to the campus to tell John everything. I needed to see him. The boys opened the door for me. John is not here. He was found unconscious nearby. When he woke up, he didn't recognize anyone. He has amnesia. His parents took him home. At that moment, I received the last missing piece of the puzzle. I ran home faster than ever before. Dad was already there, like he was waiting for me. Did you do it to John? I told you you're not going to date that guy. You will only listen to me. I wanted to slap the living daylights out of him. I decided to call the police and tell them everything, but Mom grabbed my hand. Don't, please, don't make it worse. I realized that she was his accomplice in a sense, and terrified, so I put my phone away. I refused to speak to Dad after that day. I kept trying to find out where John was, but I didn't have his parents' address or phone number. He didn't post anything on social media either. After a while, Mom said she was filing for a divorce. I can't stand it anymore. We moved to a small but cozy apartment that had no basement full of secrets or men watching my every move. Months flew by. I focused on my studies. Sarah became my best friend. I still saw the boys sometimes. They became almost like brothers to me, and sometimes I slept in John's room. Everything there smelled of him. I missed him so much that it hurt. I also went to the wasteland where I used to race. I stood there and watched from afar. The boys didn't even think about me. They didn't notice that I wasn't there, and I realized that they had never been my friends. One day, when I came to the fraternity house, the boys were smiling mysteriously. John is back. He came back to college, but he doesn't remember anyone. My stomach was in knots. I remembered his question about love at first sight. What if he never loved me? What if he would just walk by? I came out into the hallway and bumped into John. Have we met before? We might have. He looked me straight in the eye for a long time. Do you believe in love at first sight? I threw my arms around him and hugged him tight like I was afraid of losing him again. It was all my own fault. I chose people who didn't care about me, but thanks to my mistake, I met true love, made real friends, and found myself. I don't talk to Dad anymore. No one has the right to decide how I live. No one has the right to erase my memory, to control me. After all, life is like a road, and you're the only one deciding where it leads.